And Digby, if you're watching, yes, I have finally gone insane.
It's off to the loony bin with you!
Now this video has a long time coming now, isn't it? After the first episode of Lolcow Archive back in early 2015 when MrConnman123 bandwagon was still going on, there were rare opportunities to finish the script for the fucking thing, which I never got around to actually doing, so due to effort or lack of interest. Since years went by from then, I decided to cancel the video behind closed doors. However, if you Spurgs are expecting this to be just like any other Lolcow Archive I've made previously, then prepare to be disappointed. Because this episode of Lolcow Archive is more of a response to Enter's recent video called Talking About My Harassment from mean old cyberbullies. So why am I doing the response to this video instead of discussing the shit that's already been archived for years? And why am I doing it so late? Well, the second question I can answer clearly because effort, but first question, well, I was gonna do it when the time was perfect. Well, around 2015 or 2016 or somewhere around 2014 though, after I finished the Lolcow Archive on Hopefully Be Good. When it was just me and Claymore and maybe some commentary community dribblers talking about how much of a spurg MrConnman123 was. Except the CC were basically overanalyzing his arguments to the point that I had their videos on in the background as I was doing way more important stuff than just watching a boring slideshow commentary by an A-logger who tries to be funny. I just uploaded live streams of myself doing these pause and play commentaries on MrConnman123 and Hopefully Be Good's videos, unedited. Unlike anyone else who actually took their video production on their shitty slideshow commentaries seriously, I just wanted to get my point across and make fun of MrConnman123 without taking them seriously like most of his detractors were doing around the time. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory why normal people outside don't take cartoon reviews seriously, and also it's 2018 and what hasn't been said that has been said about him already. Most YouTubers such as Digby and Turkey Tom are just sort of regurgitating the same shit, kind of like everyone else has been doing to death for God knows how long. Like 2014, has it really been that long? Damn, dude. Honestly, this should be my last video on Enter, or maybe not. I guess I'll just continue A-logging MrConnman123 24/7, I guess. Since you spastics are bitching and moaning about me in the comments about how my commentary on MrConnman123 was 2 hours long, there's something I've been telling every one of you in the comments. Something that you didn't quite get through your head. Allow me to break it down, just so your slow autistic minds can, understand what I'm telling you. Fuck it. Text to speech, you know what to do.
This video was a live stream. Yes, it. Look at SVREAM. The reason why it was 2 hours was because me and a couple of friends were pausing and playing the video whilst making our comments /points, etc. We're meany weenies. Boo-hoo. Suck it up, virgin.
Yeah, you get the point already.
I'm a retard, and I got stutter. In my backyard, I have fun with
You're the fucking worst nigger ever!
So how butterflies flutter. I like to play with you so much fun. Play cowboys and Indians with a plastic.
You are a jerk! Stop this! Burn, motherfucker, burn! Stop using autism as an excuse. I have autism!
I couldn't agree with you more, MrConnman123. That's why I'm making this video. However, I'm going to do my best to be nice in this video, and I'm going to be mostly defending MrConnman123 instead of attacking him. Because honestly, MrConnman123 has had a problem with harassment for a few years now, and he wants to know what he can do about it.
You have your pussy lips on top of your fucking head. The thing you need to do is go to the church and order a fucking public execution, you fucking autistic Asperger cancer kid. I would like to fuck your mother on top of Muller Creeker, you fucking cunt, rabies Asperger's cunt, autistic PewDiePie kid. Cock, 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 cock. Isaiah have autism. He may not notice, but he actually does. He goes home from school every day and then fuck his mother, you fucking cuntish autistic cunt. Thanks for watching, you fucking whore. Goodbye, Isaiah. Cock, 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 cock.
This isn't going to be a fun video.
I think you got that backwards, pal, because I've got my popcorn ready for the spurg out. Oh, and a cup of tears to drink later.
I don't know, Jesus. This might be his only valid point.
And yes, I know that this isn't the first time that I made a video like this, but each and every time that I do, I think that it's going to be the last time that I have to do this. Although, this time around, I'm fairly certain that this isn't going to be the last time either.
I mean, it could be the last time. You could just circumvent all the quote-unquote hate speech and just use this video as a response to other people that give you a hard time.
Events over the past few months have pushed me and those I care about into a place where making such a video like this is inevitable. I'm going to talk about the internet harassment that I and people I know have been receiving. And I will be mentioning people by name. Call them trolls, haters, idiots, aggressive critics, might hate them, I don't care. This is at a place where it needs to stop. Back in 2014, I made an editable animation on the Shane Kozen poem Troll, and in it, I said some things that people found contentious. The most infamous statement within was that I believe that trolls and cyberbullies were the same thing. Do I still believe that? I'll let you come to your own conclusion by the end of this video.
I'm going to assume it's a yes. Just a guess, though.
I mean, back then, I probably didn't have much of a leg to stand on with that opinion. Back then, my biggest troll or hater or whatever was, what, Clay Claymore?
What? No mention of me? You know, like, don't you remember me? Like, the Brit fag Jesus Bazooka 79 who used to make live stream commentaries on MrEnter and O3 Be Good? No? Like, fuck you, MrEnter, it's all your fault.
He was, or is, a person who decided that someone spending their internet life on animation was so pathetic that he needed to dedicate his internet life to bitching about people who bitch about animation.
There's no such thing as an internet life. You only get one life that's pretty much non-existent. It's called going outside and hanging out with friends. Like, maybe you should try it sometime instead of wasting it here.
He originally talked about Ben the Looney, but as I got more well-known, he switched to talking about me, and was probably where my first few waves of trolls came from. And Clay Claymore is one of those trolls who, yeah, the old adage of don't feed the trolls kind of worked. But in all honesty, I find Clay Claymore funny. Like, an adorable child kind of way. Especially in hindsight. He talks himself up so much. He was so better than me because he had a real job and a girlfriend. Strange how my fake job allowed me to afford a microphone, something that he never bothered with.
And you've done very little to improve your mic quality. Good job, cunt. Like, honestly, even when your editor forgets to edit out the fucking cut-offs, you know that it's not looking good to the point that it's just completely embarrassing.
He found himself nestled within the hellhole known as the commentary community. And within that community, I was, maybe still am, a huge talking point. They'd make these repetitive as fuck videos complaining about my repetitive as fuck videos. About things like how I talked about SpongeBob or Teen Titans Go or whatever way too much, how my editing is shit, and how I insult writers, even if it's years after I stopped doing those things. Back when these were a lot more popular, both haters and fans incessantly asked me to do a response to these things, and to what end? Creating drama? I can't create drama within the commentary community because the commentary community is built on drama. Here's how that community works. People will flock to you because you're picking on a target that they don't like, but the second you either A, pick on a target that they do like, or you reveal yourself to have a flaw like, you know, a typical human being, they cannibalize each other. Clay Claymore was pretty popular in that circle, until he attacked Doug Walker, who was really well liked, you know, at the time. And then his community and his fan base turned on him, and they legit called him the next MrEnter, and used me as an insult towards him. And the people who made responses on Clay Claymore's video, the second that they reveal themselves to be a human being, they're gonna be the next Clay Claymore. That is their fate. It's going to happen to each and every one of them, whether they have anything to do with me or not. They either get as obsessive as the people they're commentating on, they're bad at hiding their own dirty laundry, or they just get bored. It doesn't matter if you're as small as Clay Claymore, if you're as big as Leafy is here. They all go away eventually.
Say what you want about MrEnter, but this dude actually has a point about the commentary community. Like, funnily enough, even Megadude TV, aka Professor Cartoons, who's pretty much announced that he's leaving now, is now being called the next Clay Claymore by the cartoon and commentary community. Again, pretty much something I have said a few years ago about the CC. They're just a bunch of former Enter fans who are basically just as bad as MrEnter fans. Especially when Clay shits on Doug Walker, like, oh, now you've gone too far for shitting on my God, Lord and Savior. Unsubscribe! Like, you're now the next MrEnter? Wait, Megadude TV used the word spurg. Fuck it, he's now the next Clay Claymore, I guess. So I can at least give props to MrEnter for pointing out this problem, even realizing that this commentary chain reaction is completely autistic.
Right off the bat, I love how many of them use my actual face and visage like it means something. Like, Encyclopedia Dramatica has this thing where when you know someone's actual full name, Encyclopedia Dramatica calls this the power word, like it means something. Or like they're fucking Odysseus. The video that Turkey shows is from when I was talking about, or more or less riffing, a PSA made by Autism Speaks, an organization that seems to hate autistic people more than Kiwi Farms, which is impressive, especially because they have the front of a cherry.
Dude, you're honestly full of shit. More shit than Movie Bob's broken toilet, plus the remains of the chicken wings. And yes, I have saw his video on Autism Speaks. You know, it's funny how you say that Autism Speaks is an organization that loves demonizing people with autism, when it's actually demonizing autism itself.
And to autism I say,
I am a father,
a mother, a grandparent,
a brother,
a sister.
We will spend every waking hour trying to weaken you.
We don't need sleep because we will not rest until you do.
Family can be much stronger than autism ever anticipated, and we will not be intimidated by you, nor will the love and strength of my community.
I am a parent riding towards you, and you can push me off this horse time and time again, but I will get up, climb back on, and ride on with the message.
Autism, you forget who we are. You forget who you are dealing with. You forget the spirit of mothers and daughters and fathers and sons.
We are
the United Kingdom.
United States.
We are Argentina.
Well, something that you didn't show during your video. You clearly took the original commercial out of context, and so did your mentally retarded following. The whole point of the advert was to motivate parents to at least do something about their kids, like getting them help, therapy, etc., instead of just watching your kid fuck everything up and continue to be retarded. But you wouldn't process that through your thick little skull now, wouldn't you, Enter? In all seriousness, grow the fuck up. No organisation like Autism Speaks would be against autistic people as you claim to be. Like, you're just a fucking idiot who's treating them as your typical Muslim grooming gang, killing off infidels and raping teenagers.
And if you are happily married, I will make sure that your marriage fails.
Oh, fuck off.
No, you fuck off, twat.
Oh, fuck off.
You fuck off back to the cave where you belong.
But beyond that, Turkey Tom is a child. Mentally or physically, I don't know, but he is a child.
And truth be told, I didn't even want to make this video, but oh wait, yes I did, because once again MrEnter has shown that he is an incompetent fool who has no idea what he's doing whatsoever.
Tit for tat, as you will.
Basically, he makes poorly done reviews of cartoons and steals jokes from infinitely more successful YouTubers in an effort to gain some notoriety of his own.
Says the guy who has stolen jokes and criticisms from Mars Reviews and Rebel Taxi verbatim.
Care to provide an example of this? No? Okay then.
Except, give Mars Reviews credit, he didn't insinuate that I was a pedophile.
Ah, good. A weird, lonely, socially inept man is going to be explaining what it is like to grow up like a little girl. Well, I guess their interest in My Little Pony and dating prepubescent boys will be one thing in common.
Multiple times.
Yo. I have a feeling that Enter's idea of a thank you video was him stripping down nude and sending people pictures of his little Johnny to the kids who pay money to see his show.
Turkey, considering that you sound like you're in high school, I'm going to explain this as reasonably as I can. People have both been killed and killed others over that exact accusation. And when you get out of high school, making claims like those, either in real life or even on the internet, can bite you in the ass. It's called slander, and you can be sued for it. I know that you're thinking that what you do on the internet has no consequences, but it does. By claiming that I'm a pedophile when I'm not, gives me the ability to sue you. I'm probably not going to do that, but when it comes down to it, I never thought that I'd make a video where I called out my trolls by name.
Enter. Stop. It was a joke. Mind you, a try-hardy one at best, made by some teenager at that, but still, a fucking joke. Like, come on dude, like, nobody's gonna assume that you're actually a paedophile when they clearly don't show any proof of you being one. I don't think it works like that. But being a trait of his autism, little jokes like these fly way over their little autistic heads. But what am I expecting from the same person who has to tell his fanbase that he was being sarcastic twice?
This was one of the most stupid pieces of shit that I've ever seen. But you know, it's a children's cartoon, and this is the standard, so there's nothing wrong here. Hell, cartoons should be more like this and less like Adventure Time, Avatar, Steven Universe, the original Teen Titans. I was being sarcastic if you couldn't tell.
Were you really? Holy shit, I'm fucking mind blown. It's not like I couldn't read it in the first place. Like, thank you for letting me know that you are being sarcastic, man. Like, no, despite the fact that your fan base mainly consists of kids from the special ed class who wouldn't know how to go to the toilet properly.
Oh, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Oh, fuck off.
Well, you know what, Enter? Fuck you too.
With not even 300,000 subscribers, for someone who has never made an animation in his entire life and has never shown that he is capable of producing one piece of good writing, either from his reviews, his atrocious book, or his somewhat pedophilic show concept, I feel like this is Enter sort of projecting, telling his audience preemptively that he's a creep or a horrible person of some kind before he gets outed for it by someone else. I mean, not saying he is necessarily, even though he has done some rather pedophilic illustrations in his past.
That is an absolute lie. I've drawn children, you know, fully clothed and going on non-sexual adventures.
Oh my fucking god, you cannot be fucking serious right now. This... Jesus Christ. Like, this literally proves my point of how much of a fucking mongoloid you really are. And how you cannot see the obvious joke right there. This isn't Big Mouth or South Park, but okay. But reading from his Growing Around book with a couple of friends, I found some very questionable things. I'll give you a hint. It's something to do with food, wet hair, and saliva inside the theatre. Sure, nothing weirdly suggestive or sexual at all with what's said here. Well, I mean, to be fair, he might have been drunk on lemonade while I was writing this.
But if that's what you consider pedophilic, we got some problems with the entire animation industry. Because we have, what, Hey Arnold, Kids Next Door, Rugrats? Oh my god, those are babies!
Now you're clearly on about something unrelated. It's called Daisy's Destruction, my friend. Look it up. Or better yet, to a better and closer extent.
Newborn! Porn! Newborn!
And you know what he said earlier about suing Turkey Tom? Aren't you doing the same exact thing that Digibro tried to do to Tom? Threatening to take him to court after he made a video on him about how he admitted to liking Lolcow apparently? Also, if you really are getting this salty over being called a paedophile by some 15 or 16-year-old, you know, tryhard spurg on the internet, then maybe I can assume that you are a paedophile. Let's look at it this way. No paedophile will be dumb enough to actually admit to being a paedophile. What comes off here is that you're getting so fucking defensive, like you're afraid that he's exposing you for writing paedophilic stories. It's like if you're actually fucking denial of being one. Come out, Beneluni. We know it's you.
There's still more, there's Recess. Do I even need to go on about this to show how ludicrous of an accusation this is? But I get it, you gotta be edgy if you want them views, and you want Senpai Mars or Rebel Taxi to notice you.
Why do you keep bringing these two up? Do you have this envy boner or some shit? I doubt Tom even knows who these two even are.
When I was a kid, maybe 11 years old or so, I had a dream that one day I would create a cartoon. So I would draw all these pictures and write out plots and scripts, and eventually when I bought a computer, I would do all these little test animations and things like that. It was a real dream of mine, but eventually I realized that I have no talent for animation, and I gave up. But animation just isn't what I was meant to do.
Well, that's good news. If Turkey Tom doesn't want to be a hypocrite, or at least he wants to be consistent, he's just gonna have to stop ranting, and he won't be a problem anymore. Because he's really shit at this. But if you want to go suck off Mars reviews some more, I'm not going to stop you.
Wow, what a loaded sentence we have here. Okay. First off, I myself am not a fan of Tom since most of what he says is just common sense, not very original in the slightest. But I would much rather sit through some teen talking about some shit user than a grown man crying about matoons. Also, he won't be a problem anymore? Really? Oh man, all of these problematic people! Grow up. If you are this upset over some teenager, you should probably take your own advice and stop. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. And again, with the fucking Mars reviews mentioning, did he leave an imprint on the back of your tonsils or some shit? Like, holy fuck, why mention him all the time when it comes to criticisms? Besides, Mars probably made the best video about you anyway.
What you need to know about trolling is that it's not always about the reaction. Sometimes it's about the intrinsic pleasure of doing something that's naughty. Back when I was a dipshit and I insulted the writers of shows, do you really think that I cared how they would react? No, I didn't. There was never a possibility in my mind that they would react.
Wow, the fucking irony. Tom is a quote-unquote young dipshit like you were back when you constantly bitched about writers of SpongeBob, and he doesn't care who he talks about since he doesn't see you ever responding. Looks like karma's a bitch, dude. Sure sucks when the writer happens to be you, huh?
But the shit I have to deal with online isn't always trolls. There's someone who really doesn't like me. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is, Rebel Taxi. Occasionally he gets drunk on his podcast and shit talks me like I don't know that he does it.
Oh no! Some guy under the influence of alcohol said shit about me! What the fuck is the point of bringing this up? Is this how the cartoon community acts? Like it's high school or some shit? Who fucking cares? Kinda like how Fred Durst said.
Should I keep this enter thing into the podcast?
But I do want to know, where does the I guess, not, I want to call it hate, but just...
I don't like him because he's like always, he takes things too seriously. Like he's like, that wasn't funny at all. Like I think it's best if everybody should just watch my Rhapsody Kids video, which came out first, and then watch his and see which is the better one.
Oh, who fucking cares? He was drunk according to you, and besides, at least both Critical and Pan can make a presentable review, something you still can't do for some reason.
Much of my hateism is directly inspired by him. They credit him as their inspiration. Why doesn't he like me? Well, from what I understand, it's because I once harassed someone that led to a bunch of people harassing that person.
In 2004, this was something new. Before social media, we didn't really know who was making these cartoons. They were just mysterious names at the end credits, and maybe you'll catch one interview on TV somewhere during commercials. But now, you can just look them up and beg for them to notice you and threaten to kill them if they fuck up on an episode of SpongeBob. We're living in the future, people!
So, back in my past, I did insult writers, call them idiots, say that they should be ashamed of their work, and such like that. But I have never, ever, ever issued a death threat or a threat of physical harm.
It was a fucking joke, you cunts!
Do I really need to comment?
If you watched my videos, then you would have known that.
I'm gonna take Cowards Way Out for 500, Alex. Are you trying to tell me that it was okay for your herd of Lolcow fans to pester people who actually put time and effort in a cartoon? Something you will never get the chance to do, by the way. And it's not bad because you never explicitly stated to witch hunt these people. But when a kid makes a video about your videos and what you do, and they never explicitly stated to witch hunt you, it's bad. It's wrong. Do you seriously expect, by the way, that any of these people who send you threats, who send you this and that, do you actually expect them to have the energy to get out of their basements, let alone to go to your house, or a loved one's house, or a P.O. box, or whatever, and start shit with you? Give me a fucking break!
And Rebel Taxi, if you hear this, don't pretend that you have less influence than I did. You right now are the biggest channel in the cartoon community. Back when I made my worst, most harsh insults towards writers, I had less than 20,000 subscribers. You have more than 10 times that amount. And you're hitting a target that isn't as out of reach, So many of the most toxic people in the community are inspired by your Rebel Taxi. Every single repetitive problems with the cartoon community meme video holds you up in high standards. If you don't respect me, at least respect the fact that you are an inspiration. And people are going to do things because they think that that's what you would want, or that they want to be like you. But I never told anyone to harass. Neither did I. I never once told anyone to harass the people that I insulted. So if it's okay to hit a guy because he insulted someone and his followers just decided to start a hate campaign, well, tell me when your birthday is. I'll buy you a fucking mirror.
Just basically the same as my last point, to be honest. He really thinks he has this moral high ground now because he has a smaller channel and he supposedly gets a harder time, or he gets the wrong end of the stick or some nonsense. This wouldn't happen if you just took the criticisms made in the original people's videos and made more of an effort. But nah, reveling in mediocrity is your strong suit, I guess. Whatever.
And besides, I absolutely suck. I'm the worst person ever. Haven't you heard that my editing is shit, even though I've got 2 editors now?
How the fuck do you have 2 editors and the videos still look the same as they always have? I like how in this video you say that with some cocky, smug pride or whatever. You have nothing to show for having 2 editors. It's baffling.
Haven't you heard that I'm obsessed with SpongeBob and Teen Titans Go, even though I haven't made a review on either of those shows in quite some time? Haven't you heard that I insult writers, even though it's been a goddamn while? A lot of the flame wars about me are haters claiming that these things are still true.
But they are. I mean, for fuck's sake. You're lying to yourself if you think your content has even remotely improved.
But to find my flaws, I have to look internally. Here's one of the problems with trolls and haters. It makes it harder and harder to find legitimate criticism. Instead of that, I get stuff like, "You take cartoons too seriously." Well, considering that it is my job, as in something that I get paid for...
Yeah. Wow. $632 per review. Yes, you heard me right. Per review. As in, this actually warrants the price of a new PC rig. Get the fuck out of here.
Maybe you're right. Maybe one day I should make a new style of animated atrocities. The video will be like this. "Hey guys, the internet told me I was taking cartoons too seriously, so from now on, this show is going to be about interpretive dance. I hope you enjoy."
What kind of argument even is this? I think the proper point would be about how you want to stick to your roots or some contrived bullshit, and that you don't want to copy Marge reviews. But again, that name is in your mouth every fucking minute, so maybe it's best you stop with that for once.
What they probably mean is that I'm obsessed. I'm not obsessed with cartoons. I do other things. I play games. I watch live action shows. I read books. I go on walks. Cartoons are my job, not my life.
You know, I have a life outside cartoons. I can prove it.
Also, kind of hard to believe that this dribbling spastic has even been outside for quote-unquote walks, since he looks like somebody that hasn't seen sunlight since 2005 to the point that his skin will burn whilst exposed to the sun.
I hate this. I hate this. I fucking hate this. I really gotta stop hitting my head against the wall for videos. It's actually starting to hurt. You want to see something? My book currently has a 2.7 or 2.8 stars on Amazon. Do I deserve it? I don't know. Maybe it's the worst book ever. I legitimately have no idea. But when criticism I get is things like autism out of 10 or I had a ghostwriter, it's hard to know if anything is in good faith.
Well, maybe it's because you can't talk properly due to your lisp.
I thought we were having steamed clams.
Oh, no. I said steamed hams. That's what I call hamburgers.
You call hamburgers steamed hams?
Yes, it's an internet slang.
Uh-huh. Where on the net?
An internet video.
Wait, what? I've been on YouTube for years and years, and I've never heard anyone use the phrase steamed hams.
Oh, not on YouTube. No, it's from Vimeo.
I see. Let's take a look at some of the more infamous reviews right now. With this being said, Growing Around Party Panic was thoroughly an unpleasant read. To be fair, I had only read the first 2 chapters. However, it only took 2 chapters for me to realize the Thunderdome of suffering I occupied. There are 11 chapters in my book. Imagine if I reviewed a movie after only watching 10 minutes of it. Even movies and cartoons that legit trigger traumatic feelings, I persevered to the very end. Sally, the main character, is also absolutely disgusting. She wipes her grimy, chocolate-stained face right onto her blouse, rolls around in mud, and apparently has weekly baths, though I hope to God that character was joking when she said all that. This all happens in one day, with nothing to imply that she's even taken the time to wash her greasy hands. So you're criticizing a child character for not living up to your adult sensibilities in a world run by kids. Finally, the prose itself is childish, which almost seems intentional until you watch one of MrEnter's videos and realize this is just what the man thinks good writing looks like. The book is written from the first-person perspective of a 7-year-old girl. It's amazing how you can turn strengths into weaknesses if you just play the right words. And omit key facts. There's no fun to be had in reading this, not even as a joke. And I know this for a fact, because that's how I went into this. I thought I knew what I was getting into. I was wrong. Instead of a nice laugh with some friends, we quickly became unsettled and bored that just finishing another page felt like scaling Mount Everest with only your corneas. So, let me get this straight. You bought my book as a joke. Alright, so is the review a joke too? It's not a very funny one. I don't know what the punchline is. After the review went up, several others followed with the same rating. It kinda felt like review bombing. I'm well aware of MrEnter and his reputation on YouTube. I know that he's currently working on getting this concept made into cartoon. He has even written scripts for it, scripts that I've read. I'm glad that he's passionate about the project and has his heart set on it. But speaking as one writer to another, Enter, your book and scripts are bad. Warning, I only read the sample, for I do not want to give Enter my money. Harsh, yes, but I have my reasons that I'll get to later in the review. Right. You're determining the book is bad based on only the sample provided. Okay, sure.
Yeah, usually if you can't draw me into anything past the first episode, level, song, or in your case, chapter, it's fucking shit. It shows you're not competent and can't persuade anyone to like what you crafted. Even a sample, a fucking sample, can make or break the sale of your product. The fact that you act that this is unreasonable shows how little you actually do know about the market you are trying to put your foot into. Fucking brilliant.
Growing Around, eh? A cartoon where kids rule and adults live the lives as kids. Now let's stop here and think about this logically for a minute here. So this is a cartoon that's based off a shitty pilot from 2007 on Disney that nobody watched named Flip Flopped, where the premise is exactly the same. Doesn't this whole premise sound familiar to anyone at all? Kids ruling. This sounds like somebody's typical baby fetish video executed in animation form, or maybe a PG version of Stephen King's Children of the Corn, where they kill adults and fuck each other. Going into depth about this, I am left with tons of totally necessary questions. 1. How do they give birth in this universe? Do kids fuck each other and shit out an old man who is a midget? 2. Do babies babysit old people? Does your IQ get lower every time you age backwards into a fetus? Since we are talking about backwards reproduction here. 3. Do little girls prostitute themselves on the street? 4. Do babies have dementia whilst aging backwards? 5. Is it illegal if a baby or a kid tries raping an adult or an old person? 6. Would child pornography be consensual when it comes to the porn now? Wouldn't porn containing adults and elders be illegal to the point of becoming deep web material? Would beauty pageants be more sexualized to the point that they'll be more appropriate for stripper poles in a strip joint? Would you be able to have an abortion when your baby is born at 100 years old? Wouldn't there be porn of kids doing weird BDSM shit behind closed doors? Does it still count as midget porn in this universe? How in the fuck does this autistic man-child not think carefully about this whilst being very unaware of the fucked up world he has just created in his little childish autistic mind? Now I can see why people assume that this premise seems to be pedophilic after a quick over-analysis. It seems like Jimmy Savile's wet dream fantasy. Not only that, but this also seems like a creepy pedophilic version of Benjamin Button, where kids die off when they're babies. Jesus Christ, Mr. Enter, get some fucking help. Not saying Mr. Enter is a pedophile, but you know what I mean. Haha.
Hey there, little fella. You visiting your grandpapa, Purr? Kid, I'm 92 years old. I just look 8. I got that Benjamin Button's disease, you dumb. Neat.
Speaking of making it harder to get a non-internet job, that Legends of the Internet video. It used Encyclopedia Dramatica as the source. Quick tip, anyone who uses Encyclopedia Dramatica immediately loses all credibility with me. Even if they're talking about someone I don't like. The second they mention ED, video's over. I might leave a dislike, but I'm never coming back to you. Even if you like Encyclopedia Dramatica, it is billed itself as a comedy website. It's like using The Onion from hell.
It's literally funny how all these spurgs like to make baseless assumptions about Encyclopedia Dramatica condoning doxing and harassment, when literally there are always going to be mods on that site that are always going to delete that crap, and especially illegal shit, when it's clearly uncalled for. And just fucked up. Unless if they're doxing pedos and murderers who can actually be a threat to children on the internet, or most likely in the public domain, and that's fair enough and nobody should give a shit. On Banaloni's ED page, somebody published his doc somewhere before getting deleted by a moderator of ED. And if you think he's a pedo or not, unless the proof comes out that he actually is, like some people who are legit pedos, you know, one of them formerly known as Original Blood Ace, aka John Tolock, being convicted of having graphic child pornography on his hard drive, and good old Hollywood MXT, who was caught sickly role-playing with a 9-year-old to the point that I'm surprised the police weren't called on him yet. Say what you want about Encyclopedia Dramatica, but at least they have standards.
It doesn't matter who it's for. Mine was made by someone who couldn't stand the fact that someone else had a different opinion to them. Not even joking. And you can imagine the angle they took.
Oh boy, that totally doesn't sound like 50% of my fans who are legit former MrEnter fans to the point that they're completely A-loggers. You know, basically the triad spurgs who would try to be edgy by saying, quote unquote, ha ha ha, I wanna fuck dead people, lol, quote unquote, or I kill, you know, and spics all the time and shit, and yet have very similar traits to the cartoon spurgs that they tend to make fun of. Wimpy Villager, or Kitty Love Power.
Some guy once had a friend come up to me saying that his blocking put him in a bad place mentally. This person commented on pretty much everything I did just to leave an insult, and he wondered why I blocked him. A specific person in that camp is Regulus314 on DeviantArt. He talks about me nonstop, like he must want my attention. I guess it's Christmas today because I'm giving all these trolls exactly what they want. I'm giving everybody what they want. Regulus, is an interesting person. You know, beyond the trying to lead a charge to get my editor fired, which isn't going to happen, by the way. You know what a tsundere is? He's one in real life. Make more content faster, not that I like it or anything. In the meantime, he uses the name of my series and regurgitates my opinion while claiming that I am awful and he hates everything I do. He claims to change, but he never does until he's made himself a mockery by everyone. He's actually a sign of how merciful I can be when it comes to blocking. I blocked him back in 2016. And yes, in 2018, he's still shit-talking me to this day. Why did I block him? Well, I ignored his abrasive nature for months, even after shit-talking many of my viewers, because it was just on the edge of being abrasive but not really going there. The breaking point is when I was suffering from epididymal cysts, you know, the ones that I needed surgery to remove, and he, in all seriousness, suggested that I should just have my testicle removed.
Well, at least Enter is acknowledging the retards in his fan base. Well, to be fair, it's both Enterbots and anti-MrEnter bots, honestly. Especially 85% of Clay Claymor's fanbase. Also, please turn down the sensitivity on the Obama phone. I can literally hear everything in the background to the point that I can hear the cars drive by. I guess in this new snowball might ain't doing the job you wanted to do now, isn't it? Talk about a ripoff.
Especially because it gets worse. If that's not enough for them, they'll go after people that I do know for the sole fact that I know them. I talked to a friend recently, years after we've had anything to do with each other publicly. She told me that people are still asking her if she has any dirt on me. But it could be worse, I suppose. Did you know that my editor was doxxed? For the sole fact that he was my editor? I mean, a lot of people have threatened to dox me, or those that I know. Like easy peasy.
The Mysterious MrEnter may very well be, bar none, the worst reviewer on all of YouTube. But despite all of the vitriol surrounding him, I was able to find very little actual juicy drama that he was involved in, to the point I considered going out of my way and personally trying to dox him, just to maybe not publish the dox, but maybe somewhere in there I'd find something that's actually interesting.
And apparently he's not the person who doxed me or my editor, but apparently he knows this person. He's also an Encyclopedia Dramatica moderator, and they say that site is about harassment.
You're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb. Again, where's the fucking proof that Easy Peasy might have doxed you, Enter? Oh, that's right, there is none, and it's just your autism getting out of hand again with these jokes and sarcasm flying way over your fucking head.
The artists that I work with tend to get some especially harsh criticism. Is it in good faith? How the fuck should I know? A lot of it does seem like obvious bullshit, but they don't know this. I guess that's what you get for associating with the Antichrist. This is what happens when you block people now. They feel justified enough to lose their fucking minds! When I got a new editor, people were rejoicing because they thought I was replacing Crimson. Some of them thought that he wasn't working fast enough, ignoring the fact that he has his own videos and his own damn life. If I fed the trolls originally and gave them some kind of reaction, some kind of tell that this was getting to me, well, maybe they would have left the people I knew alone instead of using them as a means to get to me. I mean, how bad could it really get? Well, there was one script kiddie who spoofed my email, routed it to a spam bot, and sent repeated terroristic threats to any country they could find, insulted people that they didn't like, and issued DMCA takedowns. That one actually got the FBI to my door.
Sucks to be you.
First, many of the people who follow me are on the inverse scale of the last thing I mentioned. They like me because I praised something that they liked, or I gave a negative review to something they hated. They see me as some kind of validation, and they need to see me as flawless, or that might weaken their defense, or their self-esteem, or whatever. I want to make it clear. If I've never said to my viewers, think for yourself and form your own opinions, that's because I thought that came standard, like going into a chess match and expecting not to get punched in the face. There are some things you shouldn't have to say. And I have said that I hate it when people just post my reviews or quotes that I've said verbatim, because it's on equal footing to when someone just copies the words of someone else as a way to rebut me. You know what we learned in grade school? Put things into your own goddamn words.
What the fuck are you expecting? When you get big on the internet, you're always going to get your good and bad eggs in the community somehow. You know, some that suck your dick too much, or just aid-loggers that hold a certain grudge against you to the point of literally just doxing you and swatting your home. It happened with Leafy, Mr. Metica. It even happens when you're not as popular as Leafy. Being greater than a hater, calling the police on the mean old cyberbullies, won't do shit.
For some reason, these guys all like to pull the "I'll kill myself if you don't love me" card. So, you're not creative or special. Every single one has pulled that card. You're just a dime a dozen crazy that I want nothing to do with. So,
the moment you fail to edit out your stuttering, maybe Crimson should be fired. I mean, he could barely edit out the blackouts in your videos.
So, let me ask a question, just out of curiosity. What should I be doing about this harassment? Yeah, don't feed the trolls, I know. I mean, I can block people all day and night. I could block everyone on the internet, but it doesn't really stop the rumors that spout up about me, the legal slander, the people targeting people I know, blasting anyone who even talks about me, the people who use alternate accounts and proxy servers to circumvent IP bans, sock puppets, cyberstalkers. Maybe you should contact law enforcement, he says, thinking that I haven't tried that. You really think the police give a damn? The police around here barely give a shit about in-person stalkers. On both sides. I'm not special.
Yes, you are special, mate. You are very fucking special. You and your fan base are very special people to the point of having special needs. Quit lying to yourself, retard.
For the love of God, I'm just someone who makes videos on the internet. That is it. I don't understand why any of this has happened. Yes, I made mistakes, but there are people who have done far worse shit than I have done, far more obsessively. I just make videos on cartoons. And yet, if I so happen to decide that one day I can't take it anymore, there will be people cheering. There will be celebration, and I know this for a fact. Why don't I have a P.O. box? Because I have a reasonable fear that someone is going to be so deranged that they're going to put a bomb in it. Did I do anything? I called a guy an idiot. A guy who's moved up in the industry, and I probably don't occupy any space in his mind anymore. I try to make a cartoon show. Some people get it, some people don't. You know, like a lot of shows, like Adult Swim's entire repertoire. So, to answer my pondering from the beginning of the video, do I still believe that trolling and cyberbullying are the same thing? Well, going back through all the facts, I have to say, not really. Congratulations, people trying to convince me that trolling wasn't so bad by continually trolling me into changing my opinion. There's a difference between trolling and bullying. We as a society have decided that bullying is bad and it should be stopped. Whether or not we actually really do something against it, we have at least decided that it's a bad thing.
Wrong. Bullying should be encouraged. And that just proves that you're no fun when it comes to banter. You're just a loser, and you will always be a loser. Now shut the fuck up and give me your lunch money before I shove you in the locker. Spurg.
As for trolling, we decided that it's good, clean fun, no matter how many people get hurt and no matter how big that it goes. Shooting people's houses during a live stream, calling the police on them with a prank number, giving out their information to people who would hurt them, sending horseshit to their families. All good, clean fun. None of that is cyberbullying by the definitions that I've gotten. Cyberbullying is targeted, repeated harassment. So if you just send horseshit to someone's house once or a bunch of random houses indiscriminately, then it's okay. There's an art to trolling.
No, Mr. Enter, shut up. Like, you're fucking dumb. I know you would just stand by your little autistic little statement about how cyberbullying and trolling are the same thing. But harassment is a term that you guys seem to misuse quite a lot. Kind of like the term hate speech. With harassment, you're talking about something completely fucking different. That would be something like doxing, or whatever you just listened to here about sending bombs into people's PO boxes.
Then it's okay. There's an art to trolling. Just saying fuck you is what plebs who think they're trolling do. Okay, let me stop you right there. There used to be an art to trolling, if that's even true. But because you guys are so elitist that you didn't bother trying to combat this is what trolling is now. Saying I'm going to kill you to people you don't like.
Wait. Are you still talking?
Yeah, he's
so
still
often,
talking.
people around me told me to stay quiet about all of this. And I did. And it just got worse and worse and worse. There's a reason that internet censorship is getting more and more steam now. The normies want this, because they don't want to deal with your fucking bullshit! And they're tired of hearing, get off the internet if you can't take it. In modern society, the internet is just as important and useful as a car. And for most people, that is a necessity. Yeah, you know the phrase, get out of the kitchen if you can't stand the heat? It's a great phrase, unless you're the dipshit with the match. People are no longer able to just get off the internet. People have jobs that rely on using the internet. People try to have reasonable discussions on the internet. And people have kids they know use the internet. Do you think the normies want their kids doxxed because they disagreed with some man-child who has problems?
Well, true, but we don't get paid to watch a bunch of spastics talk about how cartoons are mean-spirited, or either go onto 8chan and browse Poll. Which, honestly, that would be a good job to have, though. When people tell you to get off the internet, they mean get off or stay away from those types of communities full of edgy motherfuckers like me who use autism as an insult and post offensive memes. That's like watching somebody you clearly hate just to bitch and complain about how you don't like it, just for the sake of bitching. I kind of find it sad that you claim to have been on YouTube for years and not fucking learnt this. Very simple phrase that it's the internet already. Also, newsflash, whatever you guys like to prove me wrong about this, but YouTube is not a fucking job. If you want to get a job, go outside and get a real one. You're only lucky that you've got a bunch of your fans supporting you on Patreon, because at this rate, they're literally paying your fucking bills since you are too much of an idiot to go to college. Get a real job or get a fucking qualification, but I would highly doubt that you would know what a qualification is now, wouldn't you, MrConnman123? You must be the luckiest motherfucker in the world. I mean, if my patrons pay my bills every now and then, I'll just quit my job entirely and just make videos of myself screwing over cartoons and taking them seriously. Like, do you know how much people would just love to just get paid to sit on their fat ass and do this shit? And you're the one bitching and moaning and giving shitty excuses about how depressed and stressed you are at your quote-unquote job and how you just need a break. From all these mini-weenies on the internet who make alternate accounts just to spam you on DeviantArt, even though it's literally the same with everybody else on YouTube, because that's what his fans suggest when he's getting criticized by the bullies on the internet. Better take a break, even though I'm getting paid on my break. Jesus Christ, MrConnman123, how much of a gullible pussy can you be? Well, again, refer to what I said about him going outside.
Oh boy, it's MrConnman123. Yeah, Enter. Man, what a dead horse this guy is. Not only is Enter a dead horse, he's the deadest of horses, with his remains being fried, fractured and fucked beyond belief. And I mean that in a relatively literal sense. What new shit can be said about this Spurg? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's so shit at editing that he had to get a high schooler who plays Nintendo games to get the job done. He takes cartoons way too fucking seriously. Him and his fans harassed a guy over writing a bad episode of SpongeBob. His attempt at a Kickstarter was laughable. His idea for a cartoon is complete shit and will never get picked up. Mum found the poop sock, he shaves with scissors, and his daddy beat him. But you all know that shit. So I'll save that for Reavers to cover more in depth. Really, all that I could add to the table is covering this train wreck of a video, which could be summed up in 3 words. Please nobody. Again, can't be asked to cover it all, leave it to this guy. But I will mention a couple of things. Firstly, this video just goes to show how inept Enter is when it comes to taking jokes. He does this shit multiple times throughout the video, mind you. And secondly, me, Reavers and some other niggas did a 2-hour live stream on this video. Now, that might be a bit too much to stomach, and I'm sure this guy will cover it in the video anyway. But I want to bring it up because it got some great feedback, alright? Oh yes, we're getting into Enter's fanbase now. So this is my favourite comment on the previously mentioned livestream. When I told the Spurg to lay off the Red Bull, he responded with, "You've probably already done that with your MrConnman123 haterade, so you might want to get that checked out. I think that drink is expired, just like how you counter people." I'm sorry, what? MrConnman123 haterade? Are you fucking serious? Mate, how the motherfucker are you that autistic? MrConnman123's fanbase is notoriously autistic, though to be fair, MrConnman123's fanbase is mostly just dumb 12s and autistic teenagers, both of which haven't actually grown up enough to develop proper tastes, meaning they probably enjoy Sonic Heroes unironically. Though I say mostly because some grown-ass Spurgs somehow enjoy MrConnman123's content, most notably O3Be Good, probably, who's already been subject to a Lolcow archive, so if you want to know more about him, check out Lolcow Archive episode 1. But yeah, Enter's fanbase? Toxic. But this isn't just going to be a one-sided video though. To completely steal from Easy Peasy's video, it's not just Enter and his fanbase that's completely autistic, it's also his hate base. Now, I bring this up because despite Easy Peasy's excellent video, I don't think the hate base gets enough, well, hate. And I don't just mean hate from the Enter fanbase who simply just hate anyone who's not an Enter PC. See what I did there? I mean proper hate from actual free-thinking people on the internet. Of course, most of the Spurgier loggers just happen to be former MrConnman123 fans. Funny that, isn't it? For a few examples, you have basically the entirety of the Neo commentary community.
Who fucking cares? That's such a minuscule thing to complain about.
And basically the fan bases of any notable Enter detractor. A special one I'd like to bring up is Kitty Love Power. Power word, Jennifer Hernandez. You've probably never heard of her, but me and the guys had her in a Discord call a couple times. And, well, here's a list of stupid shit she's said/done. Admitted to only showering 6 times a year.
Because you have to keep your genitals clean. If you don't, then you're prone to bacteria. So do you have bacteria around your vaginal area there, Kitty? Why aren't you answering my questions relating to your vagina?
Yeah, answer the fucking question.
Right, just answer the question, then you can go. You can go.
Yeah, I watched it.
Alright, you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
You watch it? How often do you watch it?
Like every time.
Like every time? Like every time after what? Like after masturbation? Every time after that time of the month? What do you mean every time? Be more specific. I want to know everything about your vagina. Its inner workings. Its most personal secrets.
Like I wash them ever since I take a shower.
How often do you bathe? That is a follow-up question that is absolutely necessary, because if you bathe
Yeah, I bathe.
Okay, how often?
Like 6 times I bathe.
6 times what?
6 times.
6 times what? Like a month? A year?
A year.
Or else you'll just say anything, won't you? Jesus Christ. 6 times a year. So it's like you treat your baths like a ritual, you know, like a very sacred like a very sacred, you know, like sacrifice corpses or whatever before you.
Time for some bitchin' mathematics by MrConnman123. Now, by dividing the 12 months of the year by the 6 times she showers a year, we get the number 2, meaning she only showers once every 2 months. Absolutely fucking DISGUSTING! She also said, "I show you my butt half of it," after sending pictures of her tits and ass to the public server that me and the bros hang out in.
Just take a picture half of it.
What?
I take a picture of my ass, half of it.
I don't speak retard.
I take picture of my butt, half of it. I'm sorry that my mic sucks.
Your English just sucks.
Hey, we know your mic sucks. It's got more to do with you being a fucking retard.
She also fisted herself in a cultist Cheatman Sega Genesis theme.
Alright, now the $1,000,000 question. Can you fit your entire hand in your vagina?
I really don't know how to put it on so deep.
Well, just try it right now. Try it. Figure it out.
Just shove it as far as it'll go.
All right.
I'll put on some sexy music for you to help you get into the mood.
Character creators from you'll find the folder for all.
Can you stop the music, please? I'm already done. I'm already done.
Show proof that you actually,
And she generally acts and talks in an extremely derpy way.
Like, how come everyone in Jesus with Bazooka server call me a lolcow?
A lolcow?
A lolcow?
Yeah,
I mean,
lolcow.
What's a lolcow?
are you pursuing law? Are you pursuing criminal justice? Because I find that very arousing in a woman.
Who committed the Holocaust? Without Googling it.
The Japanese.
I mean.
I she said Korean.
Oh, Allah help me.
It was fucking Adolf Hitler, you fucking... Again, the question is, who is the second president of the United States?
That's easy. It's some sort of Chinaman.
No, I want to hear from her.
Okay.
George Washington.
It's John Adams, you fucking dipshit.
Okay.
No, I'm asking, like, fill in the blank.
Yeah, you gotta fill in the blank.
Here's a helpful gamer hint. It's from the hit anime. Actually, no, sorry. It's from the obscure anime. You probably never heard of it. Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's over blank.
It's over blank.
No!
Oh, spell? Dumpster.
DUMPER.
Great. Awesome job.
Like, please, can I leave now because I had to go to
Okay, I know it's a bit nasty for me to pick on an obviously backwards person, but she's 19 or 20, and she's still hanging around with people like us to this day. Plus, if the internet bullies are too mean, just turn off the fucking computer and go outside. And yes, she does hate MrConnman123, as said in a call we had with her. So that's the worst experience I've had with MrConnman123 hate base. But there's also people like Rich Play Games who, I shit you not, threatened to get Mr. Metacore on us for making fun of him when he wouldn't shut the fuck up in a call about how much he wanted to suck Jesus with Bazooka's dick.
Alright.
Okay.
You know what? You guys can call me Spurg, but I'm gonna succeed. I'm gonna.
Oh, hey guys, you can call me a Spurg, but I'm gonna succeed. Oh.
Just answer my
Yes.
question.
Yeah, I got a question. I have a question.
Man, I should have used a voice changer.
No, no. Let me ask
Oh,
you a
man,
question.
I'm gonna-
What the fuck is going on?
Let me ask you a question.
What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. We're just screaming at some fucking little autist.
You know the moment that you come into it and basically say that, oh, I'm gonna think about suicide because of somebody's being mean or something. Yeah, like, how are we gonna? How the thing is, like basically, like,
I'll make a video.
like,
Okay, I'm gonna make a video.
Like,
my past and stuff. So you can
shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut up! But basically, how can we take it serious? Shut up! Shut up!
Oh my god, he's like a fucking runner.
Right, like if you come in here and basically say that, oh, yo, I'm gonna kill myself because fucking like everybody's being mean to me. Yeah, we can't take you seriously if you say stupid fucking shit like that, though.
You know,
honestly.
I'm friends with MrConnman123, right? So he can make a rant up.
You're not me. I'm friends with MrConnman123. Come.
You're not friends with
Sorry,
Dude, trust me. Medica, dude, trust me. Medica will fucking roast you, dude. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie though. Medica would roast you, dude.
Medicare
Honestly,
would take the piss out of you faster than niggers applying for welfare.
basically same with his like HeXa army though. He'll like they'll fucking roast you, dude. Honestly, like same with Kiwi form. So.
I'll make a fucking Calford on you, and then
my dad owns
get,
Microsoft.
billions of anons.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave.
We laughed at him and he never joined the call again. Oh, and he also has a YouTube channel, so I mean, don't bully him. Christ, no, last thing I need is to get Max Anderson's Spurg ass on me again. But just tell him that Conman sent you. Or not. I mean, I have no control over what you faggots do. You're not mindless drones or anything. Oh, and the other former fans of Spurgs who make Reddit tier memes of Nintendo games, so yeah.
Just to close this video off, I just want to talk and make a few things clear. I do not condone MrConnman123's doxing in any way, shape or form. Not like a guy and trolling him is fine and all, but if you're literally going to go out your way just to try and get your revenge on Enter by doxing him, fucking up his life and swatting his house, all because you have a burning, obsessive, autistic hatred for the guy, to the point that you literally want him gone or even dead, then you guys are literally more autistic than his followers and haters at this point. Honestly, you have problems. And that goes to the same dude who was a former MrConnman123 fan, who originally made the ED article, and I think that was Cartoon Freak 666, I think, on Enter out of pure anger and hatred. Now, don't get me wrong. The idea that MrConnman123 and his editor Crimson Mayhem getting doxed sounds funny in a way, but honestly, don't fucking go out of your way to dox him. He's just another cartoon reviewing Spurg on the internet who reviews cartoons and nothing the fuck else. Is it really worth to try get Enter off the internet? And in all honesty, getting doxed and all that does sound fucked up and did go way too fucking far. And if you legit want Enter and his editor dead and swatted just because you don't like them, then you're literally 12-year-old A-logging Spurgs that have autism as bad as the majority of MrConnman123's fans and haters combined. And I do mean Claymore's fan base, so what I mean is haters or, former MrConnman123 fans, whatever. Normally when it comes to something this bad, you've clearly done something bad. But Enter is no nostalgia fandom chick, aka Spy vs Spy fangirl. If Enter would go out of his way to do something pedophilic, or even dox somebody, which I don't see happening yet, then I would condone doxing the guy. But if you're just getting pissy over the trolls being mean old trolls and cyberbullies, or just mean to you on social media, or just saying horrible stuff about you on social media, then I don't care. Cyberbullying doesn't fucking exist. You're just a fucking pussy. You Enterbots can piss and moan about how words hurt and how I use the word Spurg a lot just to insult Enter, but I'm going to carry on using it since you guys clearly love it every time I use vocabulary that's mean-spirited and representative of schoolyard bullies. So far, the feedback on autism and the widespread of autism on my MrConnman123 livestream was pretty fucking priceless. That one Nintendo drone with Pete as his icon wrote an essay about how wrong my views against MrConnman123 were, which I'm not debunking since we're going to be here all fucking day if I do. And not to mention the comment section of MrConnman's video. Like, holy shit. The amounts of kiss-ups in the comment section, just apologising just because they quote-unquote offended him. And especially Rebel Taxi, who jumped on the bandwagon. You didn't do anything. Even fucking Pie Guy Rules. Like, none of you guys have done anything wrong. Like, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck are you apologising? Over just hurting some Spurg's feelings that you clearly don't know in real life, or you just don't know in general, just don't give a shit about. Again, feels of the reals, boys. Despite Enter being doxed, I stand by with everything I said about you back in 2015. Back when I used to do my live stream pause and play commentaries on you. And if you really are getting tired of the internet in general, then go outside and be social for once, you dirty hobo. Or just go back to DeviantArt and just favourite more pony porn and nostalgia critic porn. Or better yet, lay off the 20 bottles of 2 litre Coke a day, you fat fuck.
He's fat! Push from the inside! Push from the inside out! You push from the inside! You push from the inside out!
Here's one of the problems with trolls and haters. It makes it harder and harder to find legitimate criticism. Instead of that, I get stuff like, "You take cartoons too seriously." Well, considering that it is my job, as in something that I get paid for, it would be wise to take cartoons just a tiny bit seriously. I mean, if I was a mechanic, I would probably take mechanical engineering just a slight bit seriously. And cartoons are also what people come to me for.